What's up guys, welcome to Southern Hike. I'm Taylor and today we're talking about tents versus hammocks and why I am a tent dweller. But don't worry, I'm actually considering switching to a hammock, so make sure you stick to the end of this video because I have some questions for you. So guys, today I just want to say thank you first of all for being here. Thank you for all our new subscribers. You are greatly appreciated and we continue to appreciate all the new subscriptions we got. And if you're new here today, make sure you watch this video, hit the subscription bell if you enjoy our content, and make sure you hit the like button. That is the simplest thing you can do to support our channel. We really appreciate it. And guys, we just want to say again, thank you for all the support. Today's video, we're talking tents versus hammocks. Talk a few of the pros and a few of the cons of each, and then talk about why I've been a tent dweller, and then talk about why I've considered getting into hammock camping and why your support and comments are really appreciated. So first, let's talk about the pros of hammocks. So one of the biggest things is they can be super comfortable, especially if you can sleep easy on your back, to worry about rocks or anything like that. Uneven ground, that's the biggest other pro of them is that anywhere you're hanging along the trees, there's uneven, you don't have to worry about uneven ground, rocks, sticks, or roots or anything digging into your back. You just get a good hang on there and then you get in your hammock and you're good to go as long as it's properly set up. So it makes it super easy to get comfortable. And then the other thing that pro is, main one is to talk about that hammocks are just cool. You know, being able to get two trees, hang your hammock, it just feels good. Feel like you have an established home like that off the ground, and it's just a cool thing to have, honestly, when you're backpacking. But let's talk about the cons. So one of the biggest things is that if you bring all the ports of support and then you don't have a lot of money to spend on expensive materials, we won't get into that part, is that weight. So all the materials you need for hammock, as far as your hammock, your underquilt, your quilt you're sleeping with, or your sleeping bag, and then a tarp, all the straps, everything, that stuff adds up, takes a lot of room in your pack, and therefore you add extra weight. Now there is a cheaper option, not cheaper options, lighter options, but they come with a price, so that's another thing to think about. So second con is you making sure you're somewhere where there's trees at. If you're in the desert, good luck finding somewhere to hang your hammock. It's going to be rare you're going to find somewhere to be able to hang your hammock, so you always have to carry a hammock somewhere where there's trees at. Now for a tent, just to say quickly, tent can go anywhere, so that's not an issue. And then the last thing for hammocks is that sometimes if you don't lay your hammock correctly, it can lead to some weird cramps in your legs, especially in your calves and things like that, and then also just oddly shape your body, so therefore you wake up, as you're trying to stay comfortable, it ends up being that it makes you uncomfortable and ends up messing your legs for your next day, and you might have a ton of miles to do, so that can be another con to it. All right guys, so let's talk about tents. Let's go into the pros first. One of the biggest things right off the top is weight. It's a lot simpler. Yes, you bring a sleeping pad. Some people do bring a sleeping pad in a hammock, but in a tent, you usually need a sleeping pad, definitely if you're laying on the ground, but still keeps you underweight. As long as you got a good light tent or a backpacking tent or ultralight tent and then a good sleeping pad, you're still under a good weight. Mine together, I think it's right around 4 pounds. I keep my weight totally down with a tent. For me especially, the other pro is it's good for side sleepers, or if you sleep on your stomach, you can definitely do that easier in a tent. It definitely makes it more comfortable. You have more room to spread out, and if I'm like on my side, if I'm in a hammock, my face is all folded up into the hammock as I've experienced before. Definitely easier in a tent. If like you're laying on a pillow with a pad, then I can sleep on my side, and even if you flip on your stomach, you're still safe to do that too. So the other thing too is it doesn't matter where you're at. If there's no trees, as long as yours is a self-supporting tent. Even trekking pole tent, you can pretty much do that anywhere and not have to worry about trees. So that's definitely one of the major benefits, is not having to have tree to hang on or any type of support like that. Cons of a tent will be that it's not as comfortable for the most part. If you can sleep on your back easy, laying in a hammock can be very comfortable. I know I'm a side sleeper, but just laying on my back, just hanging out in a hammock is super comfortable. So that's one of the biggest benefits to that is that it's very comfortable if you can sleep in any direction. The next thing would be is that some grounds, very uneven grounds. I can think about the Smokies we were in just a couple months ago. Both sites we stayed at was very hard to find somewhere to lay flat on a tent. You want to make sure that you're keeping your head above your feet, and then you're staying away from rocks and roots, and you got to make sure you have a footprint, because you don't want to destroy the bottom of your tent. So that is one of the biggest things you have to worry about with a tent too. So last but not least, one of the biggest things with a tent is condensation, especially if you don't have somewhere to keep air moving in there. Condensation will mess you up every time, especially here in the South where we have high humidity. It just plays into it so much. That is one of the downsides of a tent, if you do not set it up to breathe easy, is you will wake up with condensation soaking you and all your gear for sure. To talk about tent versus hammock, those are some of the main pros and cons. I wanted to mention those and then to kind of explain why I'm at where I am and where I would like to go. Two of the main things is I'm a side sleeper. That's why I sleep on the ground. The other thing is me and Rachel, we basically backpack together 90% of the time. So it's easier for us to be together in a single tent. We just have to carry that one tent and it fits both of us and it works perfectly. Well, sometimes I do solo trips. I just did one recently, and it'd been nice to be in a hammock. But here's the other thing is why I've been in a tent forever is that I'm a side sleeper, so that has always been a big issue for me. I sleep on my side every night, so I've always been nervous about sleeping in a hammock because when I was younger, I slept in like an emu hammock, which is not great for backpacking, but when I was younger, it was very hard to sleep in one because the hammock would be smushing me in my face when I was trying to turn on my side. So that might be improper lay too, but that was one of my biggest reasons why I got away from doing that. I did it when I was younger, but the older I get, the more uncomfortable I get with my age is that I want to be more comfortable in my tent, so I kind of got away from doing that in my hammock. Now, another thing was too, is for an example, a story was when I was younger, I was doing a kayak backpacking trip. It was July in Georgia. I was on the river and was not worried about being cold at all. Well, I didn't bring an underquilt or anything. Woke up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, freezing in July when it's like 70 degrees at night. And so I was unprepared for a hammock, and that was one of my biggest things I didn't understand is about underquilts when I was younger and how important they are. All right, so here's my main point is what I was getting to with this whole video is I'm really reaching out to the community for your help. I really would like to get into hammock camping when I go backpacking, if it's just me. And then I've looked into the Dutchware Chameleon or their Banyan hammock, and that's two of my options. I can't remember the name of that hammock right off the top of my head. I'll put it on the video. I can't remember the name right now. Anyways, the Chameleon's the one I'm sort of leaning towards, and then I'm trying to still decide on an underquilt. So I would love any of your suggestions if you have better options. I've looked at Dream Hammocks too, but I would love to get like a Zeppelin UGQ underquilt, and then I've already got a Revelation quilt from Enlightened Equipment that go on the top. But I would really like to start investing for the fall into one that would work for me. So I would love any of your suggestions, so make sure to leave them in the comments below. I'm super excited to shop for that. It's definitely something I want to take my time out and make sure I get something that's going to work right the first time, but also make me comfortable and not make me stick to a tent always. So guys, thank you for sticking around and watching this video. Really appreciate it. And make sure if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. I'd really appreciate all your comments below for your suggestions of what type of hammocks work for you. And if you're new here, maybe you can use these comments below. If you're new in the backpacking, use these comments below to help you suggestions for you also. I would love to hear anybody that's looking for a hammock also, or looking for a tent. We'd love to hear what type of tent you're looking for and why you stick to a tent or why you stick to a hammock always and don't like tent. Anyways, thanks again guys for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. We try to do a video every Tuesday, and we're just glad for you being here, and we will see you next week.